So we've come back to check the 50. We bounce, and where do we bounce? Of course, to the 20. Is this the first attempt of the 20 since it had failed? Yes. First attempts do what? It should bounce, right? Or get some pause here. And here we are to the, basically to the penny on the 20-day MA. But if we back this up even farther, what are we fighting with on a shorter time frame? There's always something, right? There will always be something that we're hitting our head on that maybe we can't see, okay? So I just added 100 AMA because I shortened the time frame, so sometimes I like to see what's in between those levels. And lo and behold, on this 4-hour chart, that daily resistance that you see on the 20 that you couldn't break through is what on the 4-hour? 100 AMA. Just demonstrating that this is a fractal world. Right? That's why all of this makes sense. And then the things that we learn and apply to one time frame, we're simply going to do it here as well on the 4-hour. Here's where you broke everything. We talk about twisting moving averages, which is all that consolidation, right? Because price is really going nowhere over longer periods of time. So all of these averages come together and twist. When they let loose, it's either a big move up or a big move down. Well, in this case, it just happened to be a big move down. And you get all of that break and divergence that we talk about in our script that shows you the trend is down and gives you a safe signal to take that trade. And now we bounce. This is the first attempt at this level. And what's happening? We're finding some resistance here, which is the same resistance that we see on the daily chart. Again, it's just a great example of the nesting dolls, right, that we talk about all the time. You'll always find price is either bumping its head or sitting on something. And the risk on this chart, we can even back this up further, and this is just a support and resistance level that we drew, I guess, earlier in the week. It's obviously relevant because you can see price struggling with it. On the hourly, have we broken into a confirmed downtrend yet? No, but I bet you if we back this up a little bit more to the 15-minute, which is very telling, there we go. Multiple time frames. Everything is fractal. What happens on one time frame, you're going to find on another. So now what we have, now that you see this 15-minute chart, that's, and again, we talk about time frames all the time, and I know a lot of you trade on short time frames, shorter than this, but for our example, let's just say this is as short as you're going to get. Right? If this is to break down on the 15-minute chart, so, this is 2 equal points in price. What you're looking for is for price to fall back and break this structural level here. And, then by that point, you're into a volume gap with draws for price to the downside. When price rolls over, current price will look for past. There goes the signal. When price wants to scoop up, current price will look for past, but only to the upside. But in our example right now, it's to the downside because we're doing this live. If this breakdown continues on this 15-minute chart, there's basically 1:40 left on this candle. What do you think price really wants? We've broken the 20, so if we break one level, we find the next. That's part of our philosophy.